Welcome to Process to Profitability, a podcast all about the tools and strategies you need to serve your clients and grow your small business, hosted by me, Samantha Mabe of Lemon and the Sea. Join me as I chat with creative entrepreneurs and small business owners about how they built and grew their businesses and how you can do the same in a way that fits you. Let's get started. You're listening to episode 100 of Process to Profitability. I can't believe we're already at 100 episodes of this podcast. It's been an amazing 2 years of learning, taking action, and delving deep into all kinds of creative businesses. As I start my maternity leave, it's a great time to review the past season and look forward to what the future holds for the podcast. I'll be re-releasing some of my favorite episodes that you might have missed over the next 16 weeks, so make sure to stay subscribed to the show and leave us a rating and review in iTunes to help others find us. This is going to be a quick episode, but I really wanted to pop in to celebrate the fact that we are at 100 episodes, plus a couple of bonus episodes that I didn't count, but that is a really amazing feat for a podcast. I am doing this mostly on my own with the help of a podcast editor, and so this is such a cool way for me to be able to celebrate. And the timing worked out just perfectly so that when you are hearing this episode, I will have just started my maternity leave and we are either anxiously awaiting this little one to arrive or he is already here. And of course, I'll be posting updates about that on Instagram, so you can follow along at Lemon and the Sea if you're interested in hearing more about when our little one gets here. The first thing I wanted to do today was just go back over the last 100 episodes and talk to you about a couple of my favorites that you might have missed because there are so many in the archive. I did talk 2 weeks ago on episode 98 about how I run a podcast that supports my business and some of the lessons that I've learned. So make sure you tune into that if you're interested in the podcasting side of things. But today it's more about checking out what has been going on in case you're a new listener or you've just fallen behind. I know that there is a ton of podcast content out there, and business podcasts are not necessarily ones that you're going to binge listen to, but there have been some great episodes along the way that I want to highlight because these are some of the first episodes I recorded back when this was a very, very small show and I was running everything on my own, but they're still full of really valuable information. And what's really cool about taking a break from maternity leave is that instead of recording new episodes to release throughout my leave, I decided that I was going to take a break and give you guys a glimpse into the past. So like I said at the intro of the show, we'll be re-releasing an episode every week for the next 16 weeks, which seems like a lot, but it's really not that long. And after that, we will be back with what I'm calling season 2. Now, that means that season 1 was 100 episodes long, and I don't know that I'm going to do that for the second season, but I kind of wanted a way to differentiate the two. So here's what you can expect as you are listening over the next 16 weeks while I'm away. I've got a good mix of website design episodes where I'm giving you guys really practical advice, like how a website designer can save you time and money, creating a strategic website, updates that you can make to your website to make sure that it's actually working, and other things that are just really practical on the website strategy and design side of things. I think that is going to be really helpful for you guys. If you have some time over the next few months to make those updates, they're going to be popping right into your podcast feed. I'm also releasing my episode 25 on quarterly website maintenance. So if you have not been doing website maintenance or you're not really sure what you should be doing, make sure to tune into that episode. It's coming out right before the middle of the year, so it will give you guys some time to actually make those updates to your website as we go into the third quarter. And I think that's going to be awesome because it is always really difficult to know when and what updates to make, and this episode will help. As far as guests go, I have chosen some people that I had on the show a long time ago. There's not necessarily a specific theme to them other than I think these are really practical episodes that you guys can listen to, and just make sure you tune into the ones that make sense for you. So I'm talking about getting started with wholesale, using customer feedback in product design, starting your own mastermind, creating contracts that protect you and your clients, building a team, managing multiple businesses, writing books, weatherproofing your business, and then pricing. So these are some of the biggest topics that we've covered on the show, things that people have a lot of questions around. So I wanted to pull those back out from the archives so that you guys can listen to the amazing guests that I had on and the advice that they gave. When was the last time you checked to make sure your website was healthy? The only way to know if your website is serving your business and working correctly is to make maintenance a regular part of your to-do list. I've created a maintenance guide at lemonandthesea.com/maintenance that will help you get a picture of how your website is performing, what's working and what isn't, and the things you can work on improving so that you can continue to show off your expertise and bring in more dream clients. Inside, you'll learn why website maintenance isn't something to put off until next week, 15 tasks you should be doing on a regular basis to maintain your website, and the tasks you need to do weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. Get the guide at lemonandthesea.com/maintenance. So what else should you expect during this season break? Well, like I said, each of these episodes, all 16 of them, are going to be showing up in your podcast feed wherever you listen once a week on Thursdays, just like normal, for 16 weeks. So really, on your end, you guys aren't going to notice a difference as far as when you're getting content delivered. You just may have heard these episodes before. For me, I will be at home taking care of my family, getting rested up, and working on season 2. So part of the reason why I gave myself a little extra time after my maternity leave ends to start releasing new podcast episodes is because I need time to record them and get them edited. I've already got some fantastic people who have reached out about being guests on the show, and I'm excited to connect with them as we get into July and August so that we can record even more content for you guys. I'm also trying to figure out what my solo shows are going to look like. We've covered a lot of website design and strategy topics, and so I'm really trying to figure out how I can bring you guys practical advice, strategies, and tools that are going to help you grow your business and serve your clients well. That's what this podcast has always been about, and that's what we want it to continue to be about. So if you have suggestions as far as what you would like to hear more about from me in the next season of the show, I would love to hear them. You can always send me an email at Samantha@lemonandthesea.com or message me on Instagram or Facebook. Just know that I'm not going to be checking in quite as frequently while I'm on maternity leave. But I do want you guys to know that the podcast isn't going anywhere. We might be changing up things a little bit, trying out new ways of sharing content, but we are still here. This is my favorite way to share content with you guys, to get to know other entrepreneurs and have really practical strategies and advice for you. So I want to keep doing this show, although it is time consuming and it takes a lot of brain power. It is also one of my favorite parts of what I do. If you are interested in getting in contact with me about being on the show or working with me, I wanted to give you guys one final just reminder update about what my maternity leave is going to look like. So this is the plan right now as we are approaching the very end of my maternity leave. I'm recording this on the 19th and my last day is the 22nd, so just a couple days away. And after that starts, I am not going to be doing any planned work in the business. My plan is to check in with email probably once a week, maybe on Fridays, respond to anything that's really urgent, make sure that I have things organized, and delete anything that is not important. So I am actually going to be deleting emails that really don't need a response from me, people that are just popping in for things that aren't important. That's not because I don't love hearing from people or connecting with listeners or people in my audience, but because I don't want to be overwhelmed feeling like I have to respond to everybody and everything that comes into my inbox. I'm going to be spending the next 3 months adjusting to life as a family of 3, 4 plus my dog. So I wanted to make sure that my inbox, while it stays under control, is not dictating my life. I am usually checking my email a couple times a day to just make sure that I'm responding to people really quickly. But I know that in this upcoming season, I'm going to have to give myself grace to delete things that don't need an urgent reply or that really are not important to the growth of my business. Now, if you email me a question or if you fill out that podcast application, I will file those away so that I can get back to them as I return from my maternity leave, but it may mean that you have to wait a couple of months to get a reply. So if that's the case, just know that I did get your email. I'll have an autoresponder up with some links as far as where you guys can connect, but I just want to make this a really special time of grace and growth in the personal sphere for us. If you're interested in working with me, I will also be, checking in on those emails and sending out more information and just getting the process started so that when I get back from my maternity leave, I have anyone who is interested in working with me as far along in the process as we can get without me having to spend a ton of time behind the computer. So that means filling out the application to work with me, maybe thinking through what you want with website design. And for those who are interested in website customization, but they want to get it done as soon as possible, I do have some recommendations for people you can reach out to. So I've got a lot of this stuff covered, but it's all going to be flexible as far as who and what and when I reply to emails and comments, because I don't really know what this season is going to look like, and I'm okay with that. I will be returning in mid-June to work, so I will be jumping back into client projects that are already scheduled at that time and catching up on all of the communications that I missed and need to reply to. So you can expect to hear from me around that time. I'm probably going to be easing back into things instead of jumping back in all at once for full days of work. But I am sure that I will be recording a podcast episode about that transition and about how I'm getting back into work. I've always found those just as cool to learn about as how people are planning for maternity leave, because things don't always go as we expect, especially with a new baby to take care of. And so I will be updating you guys along the way as things change and evolve and we see what's happening, so that if you are planning a maternity leave or an extended leave of any kind, you can kind of learn from what we've done, maybe take it and tweak it to work for your schedule and your business. As we wrap up today, I still have 3 action steps for you to take. And these might seem a little bit selfish, but I wanted to make sure that I mention them because I think as podcast listeners, sometimes we can forget how important this is. Number 1 is subscribe to Process to Profitability so you don't miss any episodes where they're re-releasing or the new episodes that come out starting in August. If you are subscribed on iTunes or anywhere you listen to podcasts, that's going to make sure that those get downloaded to your podcast app and you can listen. You can also leave us a rating and a review on iTunes. That's the best place to do it because that's where the most people listen, and it really helps other people to find the show. The reason that is important, in case you didn't know and you've listened to podcasts for a long time like I do and you kind of get annoyed with people asking for this, is because iTunes ranks things based on how many ratings, how many reviews, what's good, what's bad. So you show up higher in the charts, it's easier for people to find you when they search, and that means more people can find the show. And for you as listeners, it means that I am getting your feedback. It means that we can bring on more guests because the higher ranked the show is, the more people want to come on and share their knowledge, and we can reach out to some really awesome people. And of course, it just helps keep me personally motivated to keep going. If I never hear from you guys as far as what you like and how things are going and if the show's helping, it can be a little bit discouraging. So I love to hear from you guys in reviews and ratings to just make sure that this show is on the right track and that it really is serving you as you serve your clients. And number 3 is, in addition to those episodes that are going to be coming out, you can always go back and listen to your favorite episodes or something you haven't heard before and make a plan of action. I'm going to be gone for 3 months, and that means if you want to take some action steps during that time, this is a great time to do it. Some of us are in our busy seasons right now, and I totally get that, but the easiest way to make sure that things are getting done in your business is to write down what it is you want to do, figure out how you're going to get there, and make it a really practical plan. And so I encourage you to pick out 1 or 2 topics of things that you really want to accomplish and improve in your business, and find a way to learn more about that and then make a plan to actually get it done. I know that is never an easy thing to do. I struggle with it myself. And so having a plan, making those action steps for yourself is a great way to move forward in your business. I hope that you have enjoyed listening to these past 100 episodes, and I'm excited to be popping back into your podcast feed in August with brand new episodes. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoy reviewing and going back and listening to some of the older episodes and guests that I've had on the show. I know that they still have such valuable information to share with you, and you can always reach out to them. Their links are all in the show notes like normal. So if you find an episode really compelling or something you want to work further on, reach out to those guests and see what kind of content they might have created in the meantime that can help you so that we can support each other as a creative entrepreneur community. Thanks for listening to Process to Profitability. Please take a minute to leave an honest review in iTunes so that I can help more small business owners and creative entrepreneurs find the show.